Dear friends, let us continue our talk about Hazard Analysis Critical Control Point, HACCP, which is a food safety management system related to infection control chapter of quality standards. In this video, we will talk in detail about food poisoning, the main problem in food safety. For more videos, please visit my Facebook page, Healthcare Quality, and my YouTube channel, Dr. Hassan Kamel. This is the third video in a series of 12 videos about HACCP. Food poisoning is an acute illness which usually occurs within 1 to 36 hours of eating contaminated or poisonous food. Symptoms normally last from 1 to 7 days and include one or more of the following: abdominal pain, diarrhea, nausea and vomiting, fever, and collapse. Food poisoning may be caused by 1. Bacteria or their toxins, 2. Mycotoxins, 3. Chemicals such as insecticides, cleaning agents, and weed killers, 4. Metals such as lead, copper, and mercury, 5. Poisonous plants such as deadly nightshade, 6. Poisonous fish or shellfish. Ready-to-eat food such as lettuce or fruit may be contaminated with low-dose pathogens such as E. coli and must always be double washed in running water before eating. Lettuce, raspberries, and apple juice have been implicated in foodborne disease. There are other group of diseases called foodborne disease also that can be transmitted via food but don't need multiplication of organisms within the food. Only small numbers of organisms are required to cause illness. For example, typhoid, paratyphoid, tuberculosis, dysentery, hepatitis A virus, and brucellosis. High-risk foods are ready-to-eat foods, usually proteins, which support the multiplication of harmful bacteria. They are intended for consumption without treatment such as cooking, which would destroy such organisms. These foods must be protected from contamination and require refrigerated storage. They must be kept separate from raw foods. Examples of these high-risk foods include cooked meat and cooked poultry, cooked meat products including pâté, spreads, gravy, stews, meat pies, and stock, milk, cream, artificial cream, custard, and dairy produce, eggs and products made from raw eggs, for example, mayonnaise, mousses, hollandaise, sauce, and quiches. Shellfish and other seafoods, including oysters, prawns, and crabs, and cooked rice. Unfortunately, contaminated food usually looks, tastes, and smells completely normal and is unlikely to be detected without laboratory examination. What is bacterial food poisoning? Bacterial food poisoning is by far the commonest, and in some instances may result in dehydration and even death. A large number of bacteria are usually involved, and this normally requires them to multiply within the food. Bacteria are microscopic organisms, often referred to as germs, which are found everywhere, including on and inside man, on food, in water, soil, and air. It's therefore essential that they are denied the opportunity to contaminate high-risk food and denied the conditions which allow them to multiply to a level where they present a risk to customers. There are three requirements for bacteria to grow: warmth, food and moisture, and time. Warmth. The best temperature for the growth of most food poisoning bacteria is around 37 degrees centigrade, although they can grow quite quickly between 20 degrees centigrade and 50 degrees centigrade. To prevent their growth, we must ensure that the temperature is kept below 5 degrees centigrade or above 63 centigrade. The temperature range of 5 to 63 is often referred to as the danger zone. Food poisoning bacteria reproduce rapidly in warm food rooms, but most will not grow in a refrigerator 1 to 4 degrees centigrade, and none in frozen food minus 18 degrees centigrade, although many will survive and start multiplying when the food thaws. Food and moisture. High protein foods are preferred by bacteria, especially meat, poultry, and dairy produce. Foods such as dried egg, gravy, or milk powder do not provide the conditions necessary for growth of bacteria. However, once water or milk is added to the powder, any bacteria present will start growing. Time. If there is sufficient time, a few bacteria can multiply to such an extent that there is enough present to cause food poisoning. What are the sources of food poisoning bacteria? One, the person. Two, raw food. Raw food should always be kept separate from high-risk food. The liquid from thawing foods, especially frozen poultry, must not be allowed to contaminate webbing clothes, high-risk food, or equipment used for high-risk food. Soil harbors harmful bacteria, and care must be taken when bringing vegetables into food rooms. Number 3, insects, flies and cockroaches. Number 4, rodents. Food contact surfaces on which rodents have walked must be disinfected before use. Food suspected of being contaminated by rodents must be destroyed. Number 5, dust. Open food should always be removed or covered when cleaning is carried out, especially dusting and sweeping. Number 6, refuse and waste food. Refuse receptacles are a favorite breeding place for flies and must always have tight-fitting lids, which are replaced after use. Number 7, animals and birds. Beasts must be kept out of food rooms. Contamination of food might result by bird droppings. Allergens are substances, usually protein, which cause the body immune system to respond. Foods which commonly contain allergens include peanuts, milk, fish and shellfish, soya, mustard, cereals containing gluten, celery, sesame seeds, tree nuts, eggs, and products containing all the above. Allergen control measures are communication, contamination, and cleaning. For communication, clear menu descriptions, effective staff training, knowledge of ingredients, and listen to customer requirements carefully and convey accurate information to the person preparing the food. For contamination, use reputable suppliers and all products suitably packed. Segregation of foods at all steps from storage to serving. Separate preparation areas, utensils, cooking equipment, oil and cloth. And discard or clearly label contaminated products. For cleaning, effective hand washing immediately before preparation, and thorough cleaning of utensils and work surfaces immediately before preparation. Regular audits and effective supervision are important to ensure control measures are working. What is the staff action in the event of a customer having anaphylaxis? Answer: customers shouldn't be moved and medical help should be called. Food poisoning outbreaks. There are 10 main faults contributing to food poisoning outbreaks. 1. Food prepared too far in advance and stored at room temperature. 2. Cooling food too slowly prior to refrigeration. Number 3. Not reheating food to high enough temperature to destroy food poisoning bacteria. Number 4. The use of cooked food contaminated with food poisoning bacteria. Number 5. Undercooking. Number 6. Not thawing frozen poultry for sufficient time. Number 7. Cross-contamination from raw food to high-risk food. Number 8. The consumption of raw food such as shellfish, eggs, or milk. Number 9. Storing hot food below 63 degrees centigrade. And number 10. infected food handlers. And again, the most important reasons are negligence, ignorance, poor management, and a failure to implement good hygiene practices. Food poisoning can be prevented by effective supervision instructions and the training of food handlers by knowledgeable managers. Staff must be aware of the specific hazards associated with their activities and how these hazards may be controlled. Food hygiene. Food hygiene is more than cleanliness. It includes all practices involved in protecting food from risk of contamination, including harmful bacteria, poisons, and foreign bodies. Preventing any bacteria present multiplying to an extent which would result in the illness of consumers or the early spoilage of food. Destroying any harmful bacteria in the food by thorough cooking or processing, and discarding unfit or contaminated food. The prevention of food poisoning. Food poisoning rarely occurs because of a single isolated mistake. Food poisoning results from management failing to identify hazards and or failing to control these hazards. The food poisoning chain consists of three major hazards. One, the contamination of high-risk food. Two, the multiplication of bacteria within the food. Three, the survival of bacteria within the food. Controlling these hazards break the chain and prevents food poisoning. To protect food from contamination, we start by purchasing food from reputable suppliers. Effective instruction, supervision, and training of food handlers. A high standard of personal hygiene practices, keeping food covered and minimize handling, and the provision of adequate suitable facilities for securing personal hygiene. And also well-designed and constructed food rooms, effective pest control, the separation of raw and high-risk food at all stages of delivery, storage, preparation, serving, and distribution. Particular care is needed when thawing raw poultry and cooling cooked meat. Also, effective storage and disposal of waste and unfit food. Well-designed and proper use of suitable equipment and utensils. Effective cleaning and disinfection. Particular care is needed with wiping cloths. To prevent bacteria within food from multiplying, we store food out of the danger zone, ensuring that during preparation, food is within the danger zone for as short a time as possible. Cooling food as rapidly as possible. And also not allowing dried foods to absorb moisture, using suitable preservatives such as salt, sugar, or vinegar. Fermentation, for example, in making of salami or yogurt. We can destroy those bacteria within food by thorough cooking, heat processing, such as pasteurization, sterilization, or canning. Thank you.